Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And today we're going to talk about...
Truth Social stock.
All right.
Yeah, money.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
You should probably liquidate your 401ks now and buy
all that you can.
Anybody who's supporting Trump should sell their house, their cars, their trucks. They don't have cars. They have trucks.
Yes.
All your MAGA gears
all
and
your diesel pickup trucks.
Buy that Donald J. Trump stock.
Our audience, and our audience are really supportive of True Social and all the honesty and facts that come out of that particular channel.
DJTTMTG stock.
Yeah, baby. So, unfortunately...
Stay away from that stock. Okay, first off, neither one of us are stock...
Financial advisors.
Stockbrokers.
We don't know your financial situation, so this cannot be taken as financial advice.
Yeah, don't. You're better off just not.
Yes.
Just don't.
Put it back in the mattress.
Yeah.
So, True Social is Donald Trump's communication company that's gone public, and it's got a market cap at about $5 billion. And the stock's had a tough time of the last week or so. It's gone down from about $40 a share down to about $22, $25 a share.
Is it really even that high?
No, yeah, it actually rallied a little bit yesterday. I think it was up $1.
Okay.
It was down a couple, then at the very end it rallied up. But the stock is really being bolstered by Trump's base. They just want to invest in Trump, right? And this stock, if Trump were to win in November, this stock actually probably would do pretty good, because then foreign countries realize that they can buy a piece of Trump just by buying his stock, right?
Yes.
Hey, I'm sure they would have an agreement ahead of time saying, hey, if I bought 1 million shares of your True Social, we could have a conversation regarding this.
Especially if Donald's selling his 1 million shares.
Oh yeah,
of
absolutely.
True Social.
Yeah, so he gets the money, and the share price stays balanced, and all of his loyal supporters are happy.
Yep.
Now, I've actually got a degree in finance. I took my undergraduate degree is in international finance.
I do not have a degree in finance, but I do play an accountant in my D&D group.
Yes.
So I feel like I've slept at a Best Western Inn.
Yes, exactly. And, I've had to do stock valuations as part of my coursework as an undergrad. And we have a technical term for a stock where the projected net revenues are about $4 million a year, and the projected operating expenses are about $80 to $100 million a year. And I don't want to lose anyone, because I know you don't have degrees. Not all of you have degrees in finance like me. But in the finance world, we call this a dog turd.
Yes.
That, I believe, is the correct technical term. It's been a few years since I've been...
It might be polished dog turd.
Oh, not even
that. Is that a
that.
Polish dog turd?
No, that's just a steaming...
pile
turd. Now, like I said, if he wins the election in November, that stock might actually be worth some real money, but I wouldn't be buying it.
Based on fundamentals.
Yeah.
If you look at the fundamentals of that company, its market cap and everything along those lines, do you even have it above $1 a share?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, that's a penny stock.
They should be paying you to buy it.
Yeah.
That's how bad that's.
Actually, there's some truth to that, because they're hemorrhaging money every quarter, and I thought I read that they lost like $300 or $350 million.
Yeah, but that's a little different, because that was related, I believe, to a stock issue. There was some like debt conversion. They were doing something special in the first quarter, and so it showed up as an expense, and they lost $300 million. But it was kind of a one-time thing. I mean, that's a pretty big one-time thing. I mean, if you've only got X amount in the bank and you've just spent this big block,
when they had to borrow $8 million from some mom and pop loan shark bank to keep the company solvent, losing $350 million on the one time. Yeah. Woo! Here, hold my beer.
Yeah. So it's so I wanted to know: is there going to be anything left for Trump and his family when they're able to sell their shares? Because currently they have to hold on to their shares until September sometime, unless the governing board of True Social allows them to sell early, which I God hope they don't.
Well, Trump and his family are the governing board members, so it's likely they will allow him to share early. But I think sell early. But I think the earliest he could sell was like 5.5 months after the stock went public, which was roughly March of this year. So again, you're looking at August, September.
September is when they can sell. I don't have an exact date, but let's see is there going to be any money left? Because I mean, the way Trump's spending his kids' inheritance in court losses, I'm sure everyone's getting concerned about what's in it for me. Except for Ivanka, she and her hubby Jared they got their Saudi money, so they're good.
Yeah. He makes $40 million a year managing that hedge fund. Oh, a couple other things before. Why bother throwing cards? If we could just talk. Oh, look at that moon card on the bottom underneath there.
Mystery.
They are getting ready to release another few 100 million shares to Trump and others. So, part of that stock price is based on the number of shares that are available. So already, if there were, say, 400 million shares out there, and you just release another 100 million shares, you've diluted that stock by about 20%.
Yep, so you would expect the stock price to
drop 20%. So if there were 400 million shares and it's $40 a share, when you make it 500 million shares, it doesn't go up to 50.
No.
It doesn't stay at 40.
Nope.
It's that 40 times 40 million is what, 1.6 billion? That 1.6 billion now gets divided by 50.
Yeah.
So now you're going to drop from 40 to like 33.
Yeah, the market cap doesn't go up because you issue more stock. So
all right, but that's all right. So let's go down. Let's see what's True Social looking like
for entertainment purposes only.
And don't sell your 401k and invest in it.
Yes. That's not financial advice, but
leave it in Dogecoin or something safe like junk bonds. All right, so what do we have underneath here? We've got I didn't shuffle them more, so we're keeping the moon card there. Knight of Wands. The things are just progressing with the company according to plan. Now, I'm going to just pause there and just say that Donald Trump doesn't really have plans. He's not like he's like an idea guy. He leaves it up to the Devin Nunez's of the world to do things like
other people's plans. It's going forward as they hope.
Yeah. The other thing is Trump always he's used to being a private company owner, not a public company owner. So the problem with Trump as a public company owner is you can't say things to the public like you could with a private company. Because you can basically market manipulate and leave yourself open to lawsuits. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got a plan. We've got the Four of Swords, resting, and we've got the moon card, uncertainty. What I think this is there's probably a plan, I'm going to guess for Donald Trump, he's waiting.
Yes.
What would he be waiting for?
Some date in September.
Yeah. To do what? We don't know yet. Stay tuned.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know that he's actually going to unload all his shares, because if he does, the stock price is just going to tank.
I'm going to pull this up for a second. If Donald Trump sells his shares, that stock price will tank. Why? Because the only reason that company's worth any money whatsoever is because of Donald Trump. Period. End of sentence. Full stop. Done.
Well, and it's the Maga Faithful. If he sells 100 million shares at $20, let's call it $20 a share. He sells, 100 million. He's going to have
$2 billion.
$2 billion that, the MAGA guys don't have $2 billion to throw at the stock to support it, right? So unless, North Korea or China or the Russians or the Saudis are going to come in and buy those shares to keep the stock price stable, that price is going to tank in a big way.
The other thing to keep in mind is that if he is going to sell shares, he has to give notice. And it's like a few business days to like a week notice, so that other smaller investors, this is done to protect smaller investors. The smaller investors understand that, in this case, a principal like Trump is planning on selling, and it gives them the opportunity to liquidate their shares ahead of the big fish.
Nonsense. They're going to buy more. It also gives the short sellers a chance to really get those positions in there waiting for the bottom to drop out, God.
Yeah, and Trump just started a TikTok, and that's already causing problems for him because he has no agreement saying that like if he puts news out first, that has to go to True Social first. He could put it out on TikTok first, and he's just, dude, you're not supposed. That's why he doesn't use Twitter much anymore. He's supposed to use True Social to pump up his stock. Will he sell it? There's something murky around there. There could be some problems on the horizon for him. In the past, you got the Empress card. This thing was just...
Oh, it was glorious.
A license to print money for him.
Oh, my God. The stock price had gone up to almost like $80 a share.
Yeah. And he owns like 80%, 60 to 80% of the shares. So in the past, he was sitting really pretty. When this thing went public, and they finally took a couple years and a bunch of investigations to get it public, it finally went public. And he was, standing to make $4, $5, $6 billion off of this thing.
Big bucks.
Current situation is
the days, happy family. Look
Yeah.
at that! Woohoo!
All
True Social is doing so
Melania, the Trump kids,
great. The Maga Faithful.
Everybody's happy because his stock's, still doing well. It hasn't cratered like all those nasty old libtards said it was going to.
Yeah.
And those biased financial people.
Or at least up until earlier this week.
Yeah. It's not going to tank. It's going to go up forever.
Yeah, look at all that money. Market cap is $5 billion. Woohoo!
And then the overarching energy is the Ace of Wands. The problem is with this Knight of Wands plan is that if you plan on selling, and I think he's waiting, if he plans on selling, plans on liquidating, that's going to be a big market action. Mm-hmm. I don't see Trump selling like 1,000 shares to have some pocket money.
Oh, no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's going. He's
going to be selling by the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. So it's going to have a big impact. His decisions, his plan has a big impact on this stock price. The lesson to be learned is the Knight of Pentacles. His decisions impact the stock and impact other people's well-beings, including his MAGA followers. If he gets greedy and thinks about himself, he will do it at the expense of his followers. That sounds about par for the course, doesn't it?
Yeah,
for
sure.
using golf terms.
What does this position stand for again?
Overarching energy. Kind of.
Okay.
So this is the underlying energy,
Okay.
the secrets and the sneaky plans that he plans on doing. The overarching energy is what you see, kind of the vibe that people can see, but this is what your gut's telling you. He's like, yeah, this stock's going to do great and la-da-da, everybody's going to be happy. It's the license to print money and everybody's going to be that. But underneath it, be warned.
Yes.
There's sneakiness afoot here. Because Trump only cares about one person. Yeah. And that's Trump.
Oh boy.
And then the outcome is the Three of Swords, the heartbreak and betrayal. Now, again, if Trump goes to sell, he has to declare it. He cannot sell and not declare it, because if he does that, the SEC will be down on him like a ton of bricks. But I don't see that stopping Trump.
No, he needs the money, really.
But I wonder if they could freeze it.
I don't know. It's just, I think if he was to make an announcement that he was going to sell his shares, there's going to be a whole bunch of folks out there taking a short position on that.
Yeah.
To the point where he wouldn't be able to, either he does it and a whole bunch of people get rich and his MAGA Faithful gets screwed, or it forces him to hold because the stock price will just drop in half.
Now, to explain, short selling is kind of an odd concept. Buying stock, normally you buy it at a price today, and then you hold on to it for a while, and then you sell it at a price that it's worth on the day that you sell it, hopefully for more money. So if you buy a stock at $50 and it goes up to $60 a month from now, you sell it and you make $10 for every share.
Yeah, short selling is where you sell stock that you don't actually own. So it's just like, I don't own any shares of True Social, but I want to sell 100 shares of this stock
at $50 a share.
$50 a share, and I'm betting that a month from now it's going to be
$40 a share.
Yeah, so then you've made $10 because the stock went down. If the stock goes up to 60,
then you have to pay.
You're out, because
you have to cover the difference. You then buy it at your $50 that you sold it at, but you still owe more money because it's now 60. So
basically you have to buy it. You sold it at 50 and you have to buy it back at 60. So that's the short selling is very risky, very dangerous, but it's extraordinarily lucrative in a down market or a down stock.
Or a stock that's got a bubble.
Yes. And True Social
is a huge freaking bubble. Yeah. There were a lot of short sellers that were making a lot of money on True Social just a few days after it went, it went public at 50 and shot up to 70, almost 80. And I think short sellers came in and just started shorting the stock at $80 a share and watched it plummet to the low 20s.
Yeah, and then Trump and his gang,
Devin Nunes,
they put a stop. They had the market basically kick all of the short sellers out because it was depressing the stock value. Some would say it was bringing the stock value back to realistic levels. More realistic,
but it's above $1 a share. It's not realistic.
No, they should be paying you like $3 or $4 to buy it. It's just such a terrible stock.
Okay, so let's take a look at what's the energy should Trump declare he's going to sell shares.
Okay,
all right. What happens? We can look at it from the
Maga Faithful,
Maga
Faithful shareholders,
the small investors.
Okay, there you go.
Happens. Okay, so we've got the Four of Swords, lying in wait, evaluating, waiting for things to happen. Oh God, these poor shorts. Those MAGA folks
they're gonna wait.
Oh, they're gonna wait. They're gonna get killed. They're gonna absolutely get killed. Jeez. Oh God. Oh man. Okay, so the signifier card is the Four of Swords. You can tell that Gary's starting to understand these cards way better. Four of Swords. When Trump announces he's gonna sell, the MAGA folks are going to be like, oh, well, we trust Trump. He's always in it. He's a businessman. He knows what we're doing. We're going to wait. We're going to see what happens. And they're going to lose their shirts. The ones that sell can sneak off and just sell like, yeah, I'm still a Trump supporter, but I'm selling. They'll do okay because they'll get out. But here's the thing. If Trump says he's going to sell, the institutional investors, the ones with the computers and stuff like that scan the news, and they're going to see some announcement that Trump has filed a particular form that allows him to sell his shares on such and such day. Now, mind you, like let's say September 15th. Now, mind you, they'll already have it programmed in the computer that Trump can sell his shares on September 15th. So they've already got a big red button that says sell on it. And run by AI. So they'll be scanning headlines and they'll be scanning for stories looking that Trump has filed that paperwork. And I can pretty much assure you that the minute they see that, they're going to be spooked and they will sell because they know what's going to happen if he sells that stock. It's going to go down in price tremendously.
I would hope to God an institutional investor like, Fidelity or someone that's got your 401k money has not put money in this thing. Oh,
but there's going to be some hedge funds and stuff like that.
I guess someone's. Oh my God.
Yeah, for the people that move slow who aren't paying attention, they're going to lose their shirts.
Yeah, this is kind of a card. Trump knows he probably shouldn't do this to his MAGA faithful, but
he'll care.
He'll probably just do it anyways.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's already got their money. He's only cared about one person.
Yeah, they've tied themselves to Trump, and he's their man. And they're gonna go down with him if the ship goes down. They're going down with him.
I will be curious to see emotionally how they are feeling after they lose their shirts.
Indeed.
Because now you're taking money. It's one thing when they're donating money.
Yeah.
It's another thing when they're buying MAGA hats. But it's another thing altogether when they've lost thousands of dollars that it probably took them years to save up.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the past we've got the Emperor card here. This is Trump making a. This could just be the stock market, the rules of the stock market. You got to follow the rules. You got to follow certain paperwork. This could be big hedge funds. This could be the board of Truth Social. But, if Trump sells, you watch what Don Jr. and Eric and Ivanka and all the other officers of the company do. But I think this is also just the officers of the company giving them permission.
Yeah, to me, this is Trump being in charge. He's especially with Trump Incorporated, it's a privately held company. There are no shares.
Yeah, and it's true. When you run a private company, What are you? You're a king. You're an emperor.
Absolutely. That's why his presidency was the way it went, because he's not used to not being in charge and calling the shots. He tried to change the world's largest publicly held institution into a privately held company, and it doesn't work that way.
So, the current situation when he announces it, that Two of Wands, the folks that have planned things out, that saw this day coming, they're going to be fine.
Yeah, so we've got choices. We've got we've got a couple different things that we could do, and we're looking out in the future, seeing what direction do we want to go.
I would not be surprised if a couple weeks before Trump is able to sell, if you start seeing that price of that stock starting to crater.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be selling their long positions and maybe buying shorts, knowing that Trump wants to sell.
Yeah.
Overarching energy is the fool. Ooh. The people that are asleep, the ones that haven't made the plan, they're so screwed. I don't know any other way to say it. They're going to walk right off the cliff because they're not paying attention.
Yeah, this is Donald J. Trump's stock. I mean, this is True Social. This is a great company. This is our guy. He's 100% in charge of this. This is just people who didn't buy the stock missed out, and they're idiots, right? That's kind of the mindset there. And like I said, if November goes Trump's way, they're right, because all these foreign governments are going to go out there and buy shares and shares and shares of stock in exchange for political favors.
And again, when somebody like Trump sells stock, he's not allowed to dump like millions of shares on the market. He can only sell a certain percentage or a certain amount. It's like a rolling average of the daily, like some percentage, like say 10% of their average transactions. So let's say they have 1 million transactions a day. He can sell like 10% of that. So 100,000 shares. Yeah. So he can sell 100,000 shares a day over a period of time. Yeah. And again, it gives the markets time to adjust to that. Now, I remember I was telling you, like, the guys that are asleep at the wheel, the ones that aren't paying attention, if this guy doesn't pay attention, what's going to happen to him?
Yeah, he's going off the cliff.
Right off the cliff.
That's your financial cliff right there.
Straight down to zero. And here's the dog warning them. Stop! Look where you're going! Why aren't you paying attention?
That dog has white hair. Or grayish hair. It's kind of like your readers, yes.
Yeah, this dog is trying desperately to warn this guy who can't be bothered.
Yeah, it's all great. You guys are just making noise. You don't know what you're talking about.
The lesson to be learned is the Page of Wands. It's a brave new world after this happens. For the folks who planned, they're going to be okay. For the folks who didn't plan, who were falling asleep, they're going to walk right off that cliff, and the wisdom teeth will be cut at this point. That they should have been looking. Mm-hmm. They should have been looking. They should have taken action. They didn't. They're going to lose their shirts. I feel so bad. Now, I feel bad for them. This is terrible.
It is. I mean, we don't agree with them philosophically.
Yes.
But you don't want to see someone bankrupt or destitute either. That's just, this is literally food off the table.
Yeah. Outcome is the Wheel of Fortune.
Anything. The future's wide open.
It is. If they don't learn their lesson, it'll happen again and again and again. But I think this can also be the transition for some of these people that walk off the cliff and blame themselves. Blame themselves. I want you to think about that one for a second, David.
Accountability?
Yeah, accountability. When was the last time you saw somebody in the Maga faction take accountability for their actions?
No, it's easier to blame the Democrats.
Hawk from TikTok. Again, I mentioned him numerous times. I don't know if I've ever shared
I don't think so.
a video of his with you. He was describing a conversation he was having with his brother, Falcon. These are fake names, by the way. And they described Trump, or the MAGA base, or like Trump as like an 8-year-old.
That's an insult to most 8-year-olds.
I'm sorry, an 8-month-old.
Ah, there you go.
8-month-old.
Oh, God.
You've got all the power and none of the responsibility. You're in a diaper, you're looking down at somebody, you fill up that diaper, Who's got to take care of that mess?
Boss baby.
And, all you do is you eat, you sleep, and you cry, and you poop. So, you are number one. Everybody has to cater to your whims, but you've got no responsibilities whatsoever. And nobody expects you to have any responsibilities because you're an 8-month-old. So he then, it's like, that's exactly what Trump is. He wants all the power that the president's office comes, but he wants none of the responsibility that comes with that power. With great power comes great responsibility for all you Spider-Man fans out there.
Yes.
And his base are the same way. They want the power. They want all the power, but the minute you try to hold them accountable and responsible for things, they scream like a hit dog. And what's going to happen? And so what's going to happen here is that they're going to be left holding the bag. They're going to lose. Again, if they had put $10,000 in, they're going to lose probably 80% of it.
80. They'll probably lose about $9,994.
Well, it depends on how quickly they move, but they're going to lose. True. They're going to lose thousands of dollars. Now, mind you, when you're doing hard labor type work, not exactly. I'm not saying they're all poor or anything along those lines, but
if
good hardworking folk,
yeah,
and you scrap and you save $10,000 will take you a long time to get there, and to lose that in like overnight or a week because you weren't paying attention and you thought Donald Trump had your best interests in you. That's going to make them angry. Yeah. And they might reach out to Donald Trump and say, hey, we didn't know this was going to happen. Could you make us whole?
Yeah, we want a do-over.
Yeah, we want a do-over. Could you just give us back our money? And it's going to be like, that's not how the world works. Yeah. And they're going to get mad.
Yeah.
And there's only so many times you can blame Jasmine Crockett or Nancy Pelosi or Adam Schiff for your problems and Biden for your problems. This is a stock market purchase, and it was Donald Trump was the one who chose to sell.
Yep. They're going to have to change their hats to MADA, M-A-D-A. Mad at Donald again.
And it's off. It's been foreseen by intuitives, far more intuitive than myself, that the minute he screws those people out of money, that's when they turn.
Yep.
Okay, so that's... You want to find out what happens with the folks that lose their shirts on the stock, how they feel about...
Sure. We haven't run this thing to 30 minutes yet.
We'll get there soon enough.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so for the Maga folks that do lose their shirts in the stock market, Knight of Cups.
Yeah.
Knight of Cups is...
That away.
It's like false friends. They're gonna have that moment. They're gonna realize that they've been duped, they've been conned. They're gonna be angry, and they just might take all those red baseball caps and Trump flags.
It'll be January 6th at Mar-a-Lago.
Put them in a box in their garage, and go back on with their lives because they're gonna be needing to take some extra shifts to make that up. So how are they gonna? Oh God. Well, Spirit's with us. So we were asking, what are they going to do? These are the ones that walk right off the cliff. I swear if we get the, let's see what we're going to, okay, 9 of 1. Yeah, look at them, shell-shocked.
Yeah.
They had no idea this was coming. Yep. Literally investing in something they didn't have the sophistication to understand what the consequences
yeah, it's kind of
were.
like Bitcoin. A lot of people are trying to invest in Bitcoin that have no idea how it works. Good Lord, you should shuffle these cards.
You saw me over here shuffling.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, these people walk off a cliff because they trusted Donald Trump, and they're just absolutely injured. And what's injured is their trust.
Yeah.
In this guy. How could you do
savings account?
We're your faithful. We're your warriors. We're the ones
How could you do this?
How could you do this to us?
Yes. In the past.
Naivety.
It's just the glory days, right?
It's that nostalgia.
We're making America great again. Remember when America was great?
Yeah, I've got my red hat here. You should wear this red hat too. They trusted him. They naively trusted everything he said. And buy my flowers, buy my stock. Well, sure, I'll spend all my family inheritance on your money
because I'm supporting you.
And the current situation is the chariot, and now what's happened has happened. And it's going to just, life goes on.
Yeah.
Life goes on, but you're a lot poorer for it.
Yeah, you got to move forward. You can't just curl up into the fetal position and cry financially.
Now, I just want to also throw something out to you. Now, before you before you get too happy and fist pump and yeah, that'll teach those MAGA turds for acting that way. They're going to have to use social service programs probably to get things through. And who's going to have to pay for that?
Your tax dollars and mine.
Exactly. Trump's going to take a bunch of their money. These folks are going to be hurting, and you're going to have to figure out where your empathy gene is and see if you can activate it for somebody who's been acting miserable because they are human beings. But even if you can't activate that one, you can activate what happens when they start using social programs, and it's like they're in a red state and the blue states have to give the red states money in order to keep the red states solvent and moving along, because we're the United States, not the United Blue States.
Yes.
It's hard because Trump did a really good job of dividing red states from blue states.
Yeah. Well,
Overarching energy is the Page of Pentacles. This is kind of like being
should have been a lot more thoughtful about our finances before we dumped it all into his stock.
When you've got the naivety, the Fool card, and the Page of Pentacles, this is a very basic, childlike understanding of money. I can almost look like, Oliver, please, sir, may I have some more? This is like them going to Trump or looking for somebody to give them some money because they need money in order to keep up with what they're going on.
Because life is going on. It's not going to pause.
There's going to be people losing their trucks. Yeah. There's going to be people losing their trucks. They're going to have to sell their trucks because they're not going to afford the truck payment on it because they've been screwed out of cash. And they're going to need help. The lesson to be learned from all this is the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is taking people back into the fold. It's the wedding card. It's a celebration. Yeah. But it's also on the low energy. Society's going to have to do something to help bring these people back into the fold. You ask, what's it going to take for a MAGA person to walk away from Trump? Separate them from their money. Yeah. That's what's going to drive them at least away from the MAGA camp. It might drive them to the point where they're just not going to vote because all politicians are crooked. Yep. But that might be the best you can expect. But they will walk away. They will kick MAGA out. They'll say goodbye. You took all my money. I've sent you money for your campaigns. Yeah. I've sent you money to fight your court cases. I sent you money because you asked for money. And now when I ask for a favor back, you said, sorry, sayonara, not interested. The outcome is the Three of Cups. Interesting. Now, Three of Cups is about celebrations. You can look at it like, they're holding their cups up, waiting for rainwater to come down to fill their cup up. But I think this is families. This will almost be like families reuniting. Yeah. Because guess what? What brings people together more than anything else in this world?
Tragedy.
And a common enemy.
Yeah. Got definition of an ally.
Yep. There's going to be tragedy, and they're going to have to fall back on family, friends, and neighbors to help themselves out.
Yeah, these last two cards, it's really welcoming them back to the fold. You were it's like the prodigal son, right?
Exactly. I was exactly where I was thinking about that.
Yeah, it's like, you went out there, you lost your mind. You
spent the family fortune on booze and all sorts of things.
Hookers and blow, but
I thought it. I wasn't going to say it.
I went there.
Leave a note in the comments if you spent all your money on hookers and blow.
That's right.
Oh, no, I said it too now.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think the Bible put it quite that way, but, it's welcome back. You come back to the family. You went nuts, but we're going to take you back in. God takes us all back.
We're family and blood's thicker than water. Come on.
God is in all of us.
And the other thing is...
Some of us just hide it better than others.
And part of it is that it's that realization that the spell's been broken.
Yes.
It's what split the families apart was the Trump spell. And now the spell's been broken. And what's going to happen is it's going to make them more reasonable. And if they go to Fox News and they hear all these great things about Trump, they're going to say, you to Fox News. Right. I'm not listening to you guys anymore. This guy screwed me over.
Salute, yeah.
You might be able to push them towards a news source that tells a little more truth.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want to hear the crappy things about Trump at that point, because they're going to want their pound of flesh back.
Yeah, we all kind of want to hear what, we want to be told what we want to hear anyways.
Oh, God.
Right?
And no more than the MAGA folks.
Yeah, and if you've lost it all, you don't want to hear about how great Trump is and how great True Social is, because you've lived a very different reality.
Yes.
You want to be told that, yeah, you know what, this guy is a real bugger and, he's not a good person. They're going to be out for blood.
Yeah. So out of that tragedy of them losing a lot of their finances and the value, what do you get out of that?
Maybe we get our country back.
Yeah, it might get your country back. And the Republicans Party currently doesn't really have a spine. But one thing they're really scared of is the MAGA base. Right now, Trump weaponizes them against other Republican congressmen to get them to do what he wants. Now imagine what happens when you lose control of that base. Yeah. And it's the French Revolution over again, get out the guillotine. We've got people that we want to behead. And it's not going to be Nancy Pelosi. I mean, I'm sure she'd be on the list, entertainment purposes only. Yes. But it's going to be the ones that really screwed them over first. Yeah. And then they'll work their way down.
Yeah. Put their collective heads together.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a reading on whether, Trump's going to run away or not if he loses the election in November. There's a big motivation, because if he loses, that stock's going to tank. And it's not just the Democrats he needs to be scared of. He's got a whole bunch of MAGA people that lost a lot of money that they're going to pull their January 6th at Mar-a-Lago,
And if Trump doesn't sell, if he loses this election, that stock's going to tank.
Yeah.
It just is going to. That's because a lot of what's propping it up are other, for Saudi Arabia, foreign investors that have, trillions of dollars. So what's a couple $20-30 million of Truth Social stock? That's what they drop on a car without thinking twice about it. And again, if Trump's out of power, he's lost the election, that stock is going to crash. Yeah. It is absolutely going to crash. And then Trump will say the election was stolen, and he'll try and file his court cases, and none of those will pan through because it wasn't and there's no evidence to support it. Yeah. And then Biden's going to get sworn in again for another term, and Trump's life as we know it is over, because at that point, nobody's protecting him on his court cases. Yeah. There's no reason to. He's not going to be the president. He can't bail himself out of this. He can't offer you anything. His money is going to dry up. Yeah. And the only thing he can do at that point is run.
Run away.
If he can get away, he would run. I think I've over-explained this one enough.
Okay. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. Thank you for everything you do with your comments and your thumbs up. It feeds the YouTube algorithm, so it makes it out to newer viewers, so they can hear us yelling at them for 35 minutes.
Exactly. And it's just we really appreciate that. All the comments you put, I read every single one. Hey, did you know that Thurgood Marshall was the first Black Supreme Court justice?
Man, it's hard to do this type of stuff because
you think one day we learn how to edit these damn videos,
but we don't.
We record them. You get it raw and unfiltered. Yeah, so I really had a brain fart. Sorry.
Me too.
I had a lot of mea culpas on that one. I knew Thurgood Marshall was the first Black Supreme Court justice. I completely botched it. I did not mean to spread fake news. Sorry about that.
Or insult anybody in the Marshall family.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, because we know Clarence Thomas has not quite lived up to the lofty bar that Thurgood Marshall set. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. A lot of times when I do my readings on my own channel as well as here, we have it's like Gary writes down an idea. Let's read on this. Okay, and then we go. Yeah. We might read a story or two just so we have some background information. But like if we're doing this, like, oh yeah, that's right. He's like the Black Supreme Court justice. He's the first one. I'll just say, he's the first one, and not even thinking because we haven't done any research to confirm it.
Doesn't it show?
Not done on purpose. We make mistakes.
Yes, we are. We are human.
But thank you for pointing out in the comments.
Yes.
Hundreds of times.
Took it on the chin many times.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Sorry.
Have a wonderful day, folks.
All right, catch you on the next video.
Bye.